Okay, everybody, here we are. We are actually going to be starting part 3. We kind of ended off with starting those other U-shaped contacts in the last video, getting them dissolving, which this is still the same day and they are still currently dissolving. But I wanted to go ahead. This is, in the background, is our junk stuff. That was all that solder and that's still filtering. This was actually from our tungsten contacts. Our nitric acid is neutral in this. I've doubled the volume of water, but I remember I've learned the hard way to do a little test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put some of this fluid. I've got a clean pipette, and I am going to put some of this fluid down into this wonderful little test tube, and we are actually going to just stick this clean piece of copper in it and see what happens. As long as we just get silver, which it appears we are getting, we can go ahead and drop this with a copper coil. So we are good. Now, I've kind of already estimated, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but there is definitely silver and nothing else in the bottom of that, so our test is good. That means we can drop this with a copper coil and we're not going to have to worry about anything. So we're going to go ahead and get set up to do that. I've got, I was about to say, approximately 49% of this. I remember we started with like 68 grams, 69 grams of the contacts that were tungsten. Approximately 49% of that ended up being just tungsten, so almost half. So I'm guesstimating there's approximately an ounce, maybe a troy ounce of silver in here. So I've got a 25 gram coil made, which is going to be more than enough to drop out that ounce of silver. So we're going to go ahead, let me get this set up. I'm going to put this up on the upper shelf so it doesn't get disturbed. Okay guys, we have just added some more nitric to this. We still got quite a bit of material in there. We're getting a good reaction. So we're going to let that go. I just want to show you what's going on with the silver drop. That's after about 15-20 minutes. So we're getting a pretty good drop there. I'm just going to go ahead and let that play out. Probably be, it's going to be next week before I can work on any of this stuff again, when I'm off again, because I have to go back to work tomorrow. So I am actually going to go sit down for a little while and relax. I am pretty pooped out. I've been out here for 2 days solid, working away trying to clean up and organize this place so I can use it to do other things like my scrapping and stuff like that, so I don't have to do everything inside. But anyhow, there's our silver, there's our U-shaped contacts going, and I'm going to go kick back and relax for a while, guys. So we will see you in a little bit. Actually, it's going to be probably 3 days for me. It'll be about 3 seconds for you. But we'll see you again shortly. Well, okay, guys. We have made it through another work week. And as you can see, it's a bright, sunshiny day. It is hot. I just wanted to show you. Here is our drop, all settled out from our tungsten contacts. Here is our drop, all settled out from our mixed up batch of stuff. And here is batch number 3, which was the U-shapes. They are all completely dissolved except for, I don't know if you can see it or not, But there's one little tiny bitty piece of one of those contacts right there, which is absolutely perfect. That means we used a perfect amount of nitric acid, so we didn't waste any. There's also a bunch of sediment in the bottom of that, which I figured there would be because they were a little on the dirty side. So what we're going to do today, here is batch number 4. It is 576.2 grams. This is all the squares and the rectangles. I'm going to go ahead and get some water boiling, and we are going to clean these two out. We're going to keep all this separate, each individual batch, and then we'll tally it all up at the end. But I want to see the yield on each batch out of these. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started filtering off. I'm going to get some water boiling so I can clean these. When that is empty, we will be putting this batch in that 2-liter beaker, and we will be getting it started, and then that leaves us just the round ones. So I will get back at you guys in just a bit. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get this started over here filtering and get these rinsed off. I got to get some water boiling and so on and so forth. I'm not going to put you guys through it. We've seen all that before, but we will go through the weights on these when we get them tallied up. So we'll be back at you in just a bit. Okay guys, just a little pop in to show you where we are. We are filtering off our 3rd batch right now. It's coming out pretty good. I've siphoned off the copper nitrate from the first 2 drops, so I'm waiting on the water to boil, and then I'm going to start my rinse. And I just wanted to show you where we're at, so we'll get back at you shortly. Okay everybody, I just wanted to show you that batch number 3 is almost filtered off. It's looking good, nice and clear. And batch number 4 has begun. So periodically throughout the day today, I will be adding nitric acid to that one. When this finishes out completely, which you can see we have a pretty cloudy fluid in there, but we're coming out nice and clean. When this finishes out, I'll make a new coil and get ready to do a drop on that one. So that's where we are right now. We have 2 more after this one, which if my little pot of silver nitrate rinse water gets down about another 300 milliliters, then I can do 2 batches at the same time, which could be the last 2 batches on this refine. But I'm actually trying to get that, you know, just cooked down. There's no point in having all that wastewater. So the reason I'm doing that is it started at about 1.5 gallons, and we're down to a little less than 600 milliliters now just by evaporation. And we're retaining our silver nitrate in there, which we will drop out of that water later on. But anyway, these are looking good. We've got a nice, calm, even reaction. That's almost done. I'm going inside where it's cool for a while, so we'll talk to you guys in a bit. Well guys, I actually said I wasn't going to do this, but I can't resist. This is the U-shaped contacts, and I just had to take a quick little vid of the drop. I'm not going to put you through too much of it, but let me knock this off. I just wanted to show you how beautiful the silver is coming off of this. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but it's coming out pretty clean, so I'm pretty pleased with it. So anyhow, I'm going to knock this off, and I just wanted you guys to see it. So we'll be back at you in a little bit. Okay guys, we are just taking a quick check on drop number 3. It appears to be just about finished, so I'm going to just let it settle out and we'll get it rinsed and get it dried. Number 4 is working, so we still have, I don't know, it looks to me about a quarter of the metal is still left in there. I just added another 100 mils of nitric. We're going to let that continue to work out. When this settles and clears, we will start on that. In the meantime, our other 2 batches are dry, so I'm going to go in and get set up, and we'll get those weighed out and see what we ended up with. So we'll be right back at you in a second. Okay guys, we are in here to do a little bit of a weigh up, see where we're at so far. As you saw just a few seconds ago, batch number 3 is about ready to be rinsed. So as soon as it settles out real good, we'll get it rinsed and weighed, and that will probably be the ending part of this video. But right now we're going to tally this up, see what we've got so far. So we know we started with 69.5 grams of tungsten contacts. You can see in here this is what is left, or what remained. Actually none of them broke up, so that's just solid tungsten there. So what we actually had for this part, let's see, so we already know that 49.5%, 49.5% was solid waste of our first 69.5 gram batch, which was the tungsten. So this is 49.5% waste. So what we're going to do is we're going to weigh up the silver that we got here. Off of that, we'll see what our actual percentages came out to be. And believe it or not, you do get a little bit more when you sweep this out. It's amazing what sticks to the glass. You would think it would all come out, but it doesn't. Okay, so we can set that off to the side. Turn our scale on. We are showing 77.31, 77.31 minus the weight of the beaker, which is 51.32 minus. So that gives us 29.99 to 9.99 grams of silver. So it was almost an ounce. I figured it was going to be right around an ounce with that amount of waste and what was done. So we can figure this out now completely. And that is refined. So a total of 43% yield from the tungsten contacts. So we have 43% yield from the tungsten. Or batch number 1. So as it stands right now, we have almost 30 grams of silver. So that is batch 1 complete. And this was our mixed up solder and junk and whatever was loose and stuff that was fused together. We started with 103.9 grams, and that was junk. Alright, let's see what our final weight is. have 299.2. So 299.2 minus the weight of this beaker, which is 223.10, minus 223.10 gives us a final silver weight of 76.1 grams. 76.1 grams refined. So let us see. And that yielded a 73 and almost 1/4%. So almost at 75%. Not bad, because that was just a bunch of junk. So 73.2%. Alrighty guys, I just wanted to check in with you for a second. We've got our batch number 3 all rinsed. It came out pretty nice. It's nice and white. So it actually looks gray right now because it's still wet, but we got it setting on our little warmers to dry. It'll probably take a few hours to do that, and then we will get back to you and tally up the weight on this one. Batch number 4 is actually out there right now. It is almost done. I would probably say by morning it should be done. There's just a little bit of fine stuff left in it. So anyway, when this batch gets dried, this was our U-shapes. When it gets dried out, we will weigh it and add it to the list and figure our percentage on it. So we'll get back at you in a bit. Okay, everybody, here we are with batch 3. This was the U-shaped ones. They are finished, dried. They came out very nice. I don't know if you can see that color, but I mean, that is just near perfect. I mean, it's hard to get a copper drop any better than that. So let's see what we ended up with. Let me tar this because I was moving things. Alright, so we have 475.39. So 475.39, 475.39 minus 101.82 for the beaker equals 37357. So the batch yielded 373.57, 373.57 refined. And let's see, let's get this back out of the way. We'll figure our percentage. This one we started with 443.8, and that was the U-shaped ones that I said had copper in them, and they came out beautiful. I mean, that's so far the best drop of all. They came out really good. So we got 373.57, 443.8. That is a fantastic yield for those. That is 84.17%. So 84% yield. We are at 77.77% so far, and that was coming from 43%. We started with a 43% yield on our first batch. We moved it up to a 61% yield total with our second batch, and now we've already moved up with this batch up to 77.70, almost 78%. So we're doing really good. I'll probably start the next video with the drop of batch number 4, but this is batch 1, 2, and 3, and we are done. So we'll see you guys in the next segment. Have a good one.